Here we go. Yo, yo, what's going on?
What's going on, dude?
Oh, man, just another Sunday, bro. Just another Sunday.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's a good one because next Sunday I will not be here.
Oh,
Just
you got
dropping
off?
that bomb right now, out and early. Yeah, you notice the confetti in the background. I'll probably be on vacation.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
So,
coming to the Sunshine State, aren't you?
yeah, which just saying that probably freaks my wife out because I don't know if your wife's like this, but anytime we go out of town, she's like, "Don't tell anybody on social media you're going out of town. That's how you get robbed."
Dude, your
And
wife's
I'm
got to
like,
be my wife. I'm
we
telling you.
don't have any shit to steal. Like what are they gonna take? My laptop? It's probably the most expensive thing I got, and it's gonna go with me.
You're taking
I'm
it with
like,
you.
I was like, it actually might even do me a favor if some shit got stolen. Because then I, would have more room because I have 3 kids and the clutter's everywhere. And I'm like, please, it's like a garage sale and everything's free.
Clear
Just
it.
take
Clear
it.
out all the take all the McDonald's toys.
Yeah,
Take it all.
exactly. So I will say this, man. My kids don't like McDonald's. Well, they like it, but they don't like it's. They never pester me to go to McDonald's. They're
That's
not like, I
awesome.
want to go to McDonald's. Like I don't hear that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy about that.
I get the once in a blue moon we'll get the urge for the King and
Oh yeah.
the crazy redhead Wendy's.
I remember way back when Burger King had like terrible French fries. I mean, they were garbage.
Yeah,
And then out of nowhere, they made a switch and the fries were like the best. And I was
they
like, man, they have
switched
the
them
best
up, right?
fries. I haven't been to Burger King man, it's probably been over 15 years, to be
I think
honest with you.
the last time I had a let's see. I think I did. I just tried it for the first time in 10 years. I gave
Oh,
up Burger King. Somebody
oh yeah.
accidentally spilled a bottle of that fake smoke on my what do
So
they call it? The Whopper, right?
yeah,
Dude, it
man,
was
I
that
will
bad. The agita was so bad. Oh,
let me tell you, man, I've been hardcore working out for probably 6 months, maybe something like that now. Like
you've been
serious
going
running. We're
strong, man.
talking serious running. Um, and what I'll tell you is I have developed this like taste bud change to where like crappy food tastes bad,
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna say I don't like Pizza Hut pizza. You know what I'm saying? But we got it last night and my kids demolished it and I ate
yeah.
it. And that's the first time I have had heartburn since I've been working out again
That's what I'm saying.
from
That's
that
what I
pizza.
got
And
from
I'm
the
like,
Whopper,
man,
man.
there you go.
Dude, it's
Pizza.
like battery acid just coming up.
Yep.
I can't deal with it, man.
Makes
It's
me
only when I
wonder.
eat Little
Makes me,
Caesars. Yeah,
yeah. What's in that pizza?
right?
You know what I'm saying? What are they putting in that pizza that we don't know?
Soylent Green. I don't know, man.
All right, man. So here's the deal. Tonight, if we get anybody, this is open mic night. So there's a link
Nice.
in the chat. If anybody wants to join, this is the HVAC Grapevine Show. And tonight, it's just me and Mike. So we're looking for a third wheel. If anybody wants to come on, we're talking about side hustles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like in my neck of the woods, I would say there's quite a bit of companies that go a little bit dormant in the wintertime. What about you, Mike, down in Florida?
Same
You get a
here,
lot of people
man.
going dormant?
Yeah, my buddy's helping his the boss out with one of the property flips he's doing.
Yeah.
I was like,
So we're getting into a side hustle here, man. Property flips.
there you go, bro.
That's a big one, dude. I'll tell you, man, I have highly considered doing that before.
Yeah.
I always wanted to. Like,
Bro, I so wanted to get into it. I was doing it for other guys that were in my town. Because
yeah.
I'm in Florida. It's the flip capital of the world. Vanilla
Yeah.
Ice is over here flipping houses, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I was in Florida, it seems like a prime place to flip houses
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I was mad I didn't get in on the game because I do plumbing. The only
Yeah,
thing
you
I'll
do it
do is
all.
roof.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's I would have liked to have flipped a few houses. I would have enjoyed it. I've built a house from scratch. Like my previous house for this house,
Really?
I built that whole house,
That's
yeah.
awesome,
So
dude.
I know how to do a lot of it, you know.
You do some framing and stuff like that?
Well, let me rephrase that. I general contracted the whole house myself. I did do a lot of the work myself. I didn't frame it myself. I paid a framing company to come in and frame it.
Yeah.
Import,
Yeah.
the stuff you can't do by yourself. A lot of stuff that could be done by myself, I did do though. Like I did have me and another guy put in all the plumbing for the whole
That's a
house. Yeah, that was a big job.
slab on grade. What'd you do?
It was slab on grade. It was probably I guess it was about 2,800 square foot.
Oh,
Down
nice.
was 2,400 with an upstairs room above a garage.
Damn.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful house. Uh, it
That's
had
crazy, dude.
the time to like lay everything out perfectly perpendicular. Like the gas line was all hard pipe, it was all black iron, and it was all laid out like perfect angles, right? All my PEX pipe to all my water runs was literally like all perpendicular with the gas pipe and ran next to the gas pipe, like all in uniform. All the
Nice.
work was hard duct and was ran overhead above 6 foot. And it was basically kind of ran perpendicular too. You know what I'm saying? I
Dude,
remember
that gets me thinking. I had this thought, like everything's slab on grade over here, like you guys. Well, I mean, you guys are a little bit different. Why
We're
don't they
mostly slab
run
on gray.
why don't they run that PEX in like a 3-inch plumbing chase? You ever have a problem with it? Kind of like an AC line, you
You
know?
mean the main, or are you talking about?
Yeah, we get so many dude, we've been getting so many
Y'all get a
copper leaks over here, man. It's been crazy.
yeah. That's why I was. That's weird. I hear you say that because like PEX is, in my opinion, very problem free. From what my experience has been
Everybody's
problem
been
free.
switching over to it in the last 5 years over here.
Yeah. Now, yeah,
Uponor,
I know
PEX.
copper. You know, north of me, they have an issue with putting copper in the ground
Yeah.
and running water through it. I can't remember the exact reason. For some reason I'm thinking it's calcium is the issue, like hard water or something like that builds up,
Yeah.
corrodes
We
it,
we
or
have really bad hard water here.
something causes pinholes in it. So they're like mandatory. They run PEX in that environment.
Yep. Yeah, we're having a
So,
bad run, man. I mean, my neighbor, he's only like 15-year-old house and they had to get a whole repipe, man. It was pretty crazy.
whoa,
But
never heard anybody had to repipe all the plumbing in the house.
right?
That's
10
wild.
years?
I'll tell
Well,
you,
15.
something I learned when I did that house. This was a vented attic. If I could go back and do it all over again, I wouldn't have vented the attic. I'd have probably foamed the attic. But I didn't know enough
Nice.
about building science back then to make that decision. But
Yeah.
if I go back again, I think, I think the perfect house would be cold water lines ran in copper under the slab and hot water lines ran up above.
Oh, right?
Because like I remember in the summertime,
That's
uh,
interesting, dude. Yeah, right? You
in
you
the
run that?
summertime, my cold water wasn't really cold,
No, bro.
and I'm like, that's kind of annoying. It'd be almost like kind of lukewarm hot. I didn't like that.
Dude, I'm 79 degrees out of the tap in the summer.
Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot cold water.
Right? It's like hot cold water. It's like medium water.
Yeah, like
In New York?
you put some ice cubes in it and they're like vaporized.
In New York, you go to brush your teeth in the morning. It's like like your teeth want
Yeah,
to
teeth
break. They
hurt, huh?
shatter like glass. Like oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's so crazy down here. 79 degrees because I took a temperature reading because I got a fish tank, so you don't want a different, you know, huge temp swing. So
Yeah,
I
you
was like,
can't be putting these
I was like,
fish, they got to have that water adjustment game going on.
yep. So I was like,
Yeah.
damn, this thing's broken, bro. There's no way it's 79 degrees.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, man, so I'm gonna jump into a side hustle.
Yeah, man.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry. First thing I want to talk about, because we've been chatting, but I want to tell everybody about this. Let's talk about that washing machine, dude, that you just
Oh,
got.
dude.
The washer and the dryer combo.
I got the
Dude,
combo,
you got to
man.
fill us in because this is new stuff. This is new tech coming out, and it
Yeah.
applies to, heating and air.
It's HVAC.
It's HVAC, man. It's a heat pump, hot water, like heat pump, washer, and dryer built into one, right?
Mm-hmm. So you got your laundry, you throw it in the washing machine, and then when it gets done washing the clothes, bam, this just starts heating. Uses the heat pump. No vent, ventless.
So you don't have to worry about venting. That's pretty
That's
awesome.
it. Think about that for new construction. You don't even have to run a vent. You have to pass code for a vent.
So here's a picture of it,
Yeah,
right? So that
pretty
is
crazy.
Mike's new washer and dryer combo, man, built
The
into one machine.
GE something.
So what are you doing with all that extra space now?
I know, right? So I'm gonna put cabinets on the side for the
Okay.
wife. You know, you can just lay down stuff. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
heat pump. It's crazy, man. Where's the app for this thing? That's the other cool thing, man. I was like, let me hook the wife up and a kid, you know. You get a little app, tells you when laundry's done. How do you beat that? It is
I don't know. It worries me about when it breaks. Like
yeah.
I could like I don't know, man. It makes me think about like tiny little Honda Accord cars. And like where do you put your hands to fix stuff? You know what I mean?
All right. So
Like
I'm a big researcher. I'm YouTube
okay.
certified in building science.
Yes.
So that means I just watch all the YouTube videos from all the cool cats out there.
So
Right.
there's repair videos on these things already?
So what I did was I was like, I gotta get a little bit of I gotta give it up to LG because my old washer was 15 years old, man, and not one repair on it.
Dang.
So I was like, it started making noise. So the bearing was bad on a direct drive unit. So I looked up the video for that. This poor guy, man, 3 hours for a bearing change, right? So I was like, all right, let's see what we got out there. And I discovered this GE, and I've been following it for about 3 months, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours? I think I showed you what normal was like 2 or 3 hours, Chris.
Yeah,
When I
I think
hit the
I
button,
thought you told me 2 hour, like a 2 hour for a cycle.
2 hour for a normal
Which
cycle.
I could bear that.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if you want, you get a little antsy, keep your old dryer, you know, throw the clothes in there, throw it in your old dryer, and then have the other one go in heat pump. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was looking up videos on the thing because I was like, all right, not everybody's been so happy with all the quality control from refrigeration units these days, right? So they offer, I think it's like 10 years maybe on the AC. I got to double check. So the heat pump is on top. So if there's a repair that needs to be done, you take the whole thing off and just swap a replacement.
Oh, so it's like a package unit. So the top is like literally just everything like a little package unit, and the ducts just blow down into the box.
That's what
Oh,
I liked about it.
that's pretty cool. Okay, I didn't know that. Looking at
Imagine
the
if they
picture,
would do that for your fridge. You know, like you have a
yeah,
problem, it's like a modular, just
I would prefer that.
right.
Which I mean,
And you nailed it, dude. Like
you
a
could
package unit,
probably, I mean, you could do that like box coolers. I wonder why fridges aren't done like that. You make a good point. I've
right?
seen like the people who have like super duper money, right? And they have those
Mm.
houses with like the
Oh, the
fridge,
Vikings,
like those massive refrigerators with
the
the air
Sub-Zero.
conditioning built on top. I've worked on a couple of those.
Yeah, right on top. Those
It's
are beautiful,
yeah, and it's like, but why? But you're right. Why not make it like a skid? Why not make them like a box cooler, a box freezer, where everything just goes on top? That'd
right?
be sweet.
So you got your refrigeration on top of that Viking or Sub-Zero, and it just blows cold into it. You got a problem,
Yeah.
dude? Did we just make something up?
Look, man, yeah, I think so. I think you just sold. I think you just got affiliate marketing sales right there, dude.
Hey,
Like
GE,
HVAC overtime, dude.
hit me up,
He's gonna
GE.
get one.
So anyway, this is the other thing. I got it from Home Depot, and I'm
Okay.
watching it. Right, so you know I'm pretty smart with the phone, so I start telling the phone at night, "Hey, I'm in the market for a new washer machine," without turning it on. So, and then all of a sudden, I get ads on Facebook.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, that's the way I do
oh,
it. Like,
I really need a washer machine. Please help me,
I'm
Siri.
gonna be straight up. A year ago, I was one of those people where I'm like, man, these things are listening to us. Like I was kind of making that comment,
Dude,
and I'm
it's
definitely
bad.
one of those people who like going on vacation, places to stay near Yosemite.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, let's go run to the grocery store in an hour. I'll check my feed. It's the
Dude, it's
truth,
crazy.
man. It's the
So
truth.
if you click on one Facebook ad, bro, I was doing it on purpose. I was like, yeah. I hit it and I close it out. Hit it, close it out. So I got basically Facebook doing all the advertising for me, and they're like, "Oh, come on, Best Buy, what you got?" And then there was another ad for Lowe's popping up, so I was checking on that. I was like, click,
Yeah,
and
dude. What you got to wait till
so
they find your buying habits, because then you got to play with the algorithm and say, no, I'm not buying this week till
dude,
the
I'm
price
telling
comes
you,
down. The
right.
price has got to get better than that.
That's what I said. And then all of a sudden, Black Friday hit, right? So
Oh
it was
yeah.
2,600. They were going to give you like a free riser, and then Black Friday hit. They took the riser out, and it was $21.99. So
Yeah.
Best Buy
That's
hit it, and I called
that's
up
not a
Best Buy.
crazy that's not a crazy price for a machine that's doing two. And I mean, if you bought them separately, you'd probably spend what about $2,000. I mean, and this is a heat pump, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you go with a nice washer. I think it's like $800. You know,
Yeah.
dryers are all over the place. But my other problem is, I'm not working out like Chris does. I'm getting a little fluffy, so my shirts, my extra larges, when it would go through that
Hey man, you
piece
just
of junk
gotta,
dryer.
if you start running, bro, and you just drop like one size, you could probably
Oh,
cut 20 minutes off those cycles. I'm just saying.
right.
Less fabric.
I'm
You could
telling
do
you,
it.
man. So anyway, this thing, what was I getting at? Yeah, my dryer, I would buy up so the dryer would shrink all the cotton.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this is getting ridiculous. So another reason why I got this thing is it uses the heat pump so that the clothes don't come out like they're
Oh,
burned,
well,
right?
let me ask you a question, because I'm a really tall person. And man, we're getting way off air
We
off
like,
the topic.
pew!
But like I gotta ask, because this is a problem I've dealt with my whole life. Like I'm a really tall guy and I have a long torso. So I
Mhm.
buy a large t-shirt or an extra large t-shirt. I wear it once, I wash it, and then the shit's too short. And
Dude,
I'm like, the only way to like get it back to normal is wash it and then go hang it up to dry.
hang it. Yeah.
So does the heat pump dryer not do that
So what
to
happens
your
is when you take
clothes?
it out when it switches the dryer, they say to give it a little bit of a snap. It's got just a little bit of moisture left in it, so it doesn't burn you, dude. I'm almost thinking like double XLs just to bring it down to my dryer.
So HVAC Overtime says, if you have 5 people in the house, would you like it? Like, is
That's
it
a
good for
good
5 people?
question, man. That's a good question
That's
because
a good question because I got a house, dude. I wash like a lot. I'm guilty
so
too. Like,
what I would do is you take your washer out, you take your dryer out, right? You probably have to get two of these bad boys because
really?
you got two spots, right? So you put one in, you set it, forget it. Put the other one in, set it, forget it.
So let's think about this as well, right? If we're blowing heat into the dryer, we're blowing air conditioning out, so there's cold air blowing outside of this thing, kind of like a heat pump water heater.
Dude. How much was it? It was
Where's
on
the
sale
cold?
Black
Like,
Friday, 2,200.
oh,
So
I thought you were talking to me, man. You talking
I,
to the
s-
chat? I'm cool with
so
that.
I finally got the chat back on. It's the first time I put the chat back on. It distracts
Got
me.
you. No,
So
I was just curious. Like, can you feel cold air blowing out
so the first
somewhere?
night that I got it, I was old man in it, right? I'm like, turn it on. I'm like, put my hands in the back, trying to feel where the air's going in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's
Can't feel it
crazy.
anywhere.
There's an intake in the back, and it's really strange. So like the clothes tumble, and you can see there's like a big blower. It's like a damn blower door is going off,
Hmm.
and you see it mixing. But I can't feel if it's like super hot, super cold. Doesn't get hot on top of the machine, but it's interesting stuff, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
it's cool stuff. I think now I can transition to a little building science, right? So now, how long's your dryer run? Like an hour or 2 hours? Hour, right?
60 to 70 minutes.
Okay. Now 60 to 70 minutes. I'm not going to be exhausting the house at
Mm-hmm.
100 CFM no more.
Yeah.
Uncontrolled ventilation.
Mm-hmm. That's right, man.
So usually that thing will bring my house to a
Not to mention the
2
electric heat you
pascals
were
negative.
running.
Yeah, the resistant. I'm not using 220 volt toaster.
And I can't remember it. I've replaced some electric heat kits on my own dryers like twice, but isn't it like 8 kW?
It's like a 8K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
And listen, I'm not down on that dryer, man. I love that dryer. I could fix that thing like that dryer was
Yeah.
golden, man.
Well, it depends on the dryer, man. Here's what I say. I have attempted to fix one that I said, to hell with this. And this was sad to say, it was my mother-in-law's dryer. It was old and the heating element was built like around the drum.
Oh,
And
dude,
when I took it apart, I'm like, we're
ancient.
gonna haul this to the road because I ain't doing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like
Call the
this is a
scrap
mess.
guys.
Like the one I have has like the cartridge that mounts to the back. Really simple.
Oh yeah.
I'll fix
That's
that
a
one.
nice one. Mine was
Yeah.
shitty. It had the heater in the back bottom right. And it would always
Yeah.
kind of like you'd get lint everywhere on the bottom. Dude, they were the number one cause for freaking fires in a house. Residential.
Is the heating element of a dryer?
The dryer. Yeah.
Really? Well, that's
So
probably for the stack, right? Like the
well, that's part of the system, right?
yeah, no, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I got that boy out of there. So now I don't
So
have to worry
man,
about, my dry event guy's pissed he lost all that work, which is me.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So just to reiterate, this is open mic night. If anybody wants to jump in, come on in. Obviously, we are down to two. Old Eric Kaiser's not with us tonight. He is in California. I will be there in 2 days with him, but he's at a different show. He's at the Heat Pump Summit,
Oh, he's at the
and
heat
we'll be
pump
at
summit.
ResNet together in a couple days.
Nice.
So we're hanging out. Open mic night. We are talking about side hustles.
That's another side hustle, dry event cleanings.
There you go. So here's one I'm going to throw out there. This could be called a bunch of different things. I think the biggest buzzword around HVAC is like a comfort consult. Or I think you could even, if you were coming from the Raider side, you would maybe call this like an energy audit. We could call it a comfort audit. We could call it a bunch of different things. But it's basically where you're going in and offering services to investigate houses. Now, this isn't for the faint of heart, man. Like this is something you need this is a good time if you're going into the winter to start researching how to do this, is what I would say, to prepare yourself for the next winter. Like stack up the houses that are problematic, that are going to come at you this summer. Yeah. Build your knowledge base up. And that way, when next winter comes on, you have these houses that you can call on and say, hey, I've slowed down. If you would like me to do that investigation, I'd be happy to do so.
And that would be more of a building science side hustle, right?
Yeah, that's for the HVAC professionals who want to take it to the next level and bring on like building science inside their company. And I hate the fact that we call it like two different things, but it kind of is, man. It's like we have to say like HVAC is like one thing in itself because there's so much to it.
We've been trying to merge those two fields for 30 years and it's not working.
I know, man. It's a lot to think about in both sectors, but now's the time. Here's what I'm gonna say, man. Starting right now, if you live in the lower part of the United States and it's cooling down, yeah, there's still a lot of work on the table. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. This is the time I would say you start looking for training opportunities next month or the next 3 months after this month, right? When you get into December, January, February, typically like the 3 slowest months in the South. It's like this is when you find those and these are when the training organizations are going to be ramped up, ready to deliver.
Yeah. And sub those out. If you're an HVAC company, you don't want to do building science, find some guy in the area that does it like me, that does building science and get a good rapport with them and they'll give you a good rate. And what I do is whoever calls me and I find out I do a load calc and it's 2 tons oversized, I price them out equipment for that company who calls me.
Yep.
And I mean, how do you lose as an HVAC guy?
So speaking of building science, we got overtime saying I encapsulated my attic last week with closed cell foam. I can't wait for the cold weather.
Get out of
That's
here.
got to be Adam.
Are you
Adam,
serious?
you need to come on to the show tonight
Bro,
and
you
tell us how that
encapsulated the
project's
attic.
working out.
Get your ass on this show.
Yeah, man. Bring it.
I'm loving that.
Let's talk about that project.
Dude, that project is my favorite project because I feel like I'm I'm like in it with him because he was like a year
Yeah.
ago. He's like, I'm gonna get invert. I was like, I'm looking for it, and I've been doing all this building science for the last 5 years myself. And yeah, I forgot what was Adam. What was your what's his blower door number was? It was
I don't know.
decent, I think.
Looks like he's gonna pop on in a minute. We're gonna get all the
Yeah.
facts. So while he's doing that, we'll circle back. There's one that I caught that Jennifer was mentioning today from Misfits. She's offering hanging Christmas tree lights and stuff. And
Oh,
I
that's
thought
cool.
that's pretty cool. Like I could get into that. That'd be fun, man.
That's awesome.
I say that. My
I'm looking
wife's
to get
like
those Govies,
begging me
bro.
to like hammer down on my house one year. She just wants me to like blow it out. Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting those Govee outdoor lights. I'm done.
Oh
Leave
yeah.
them suckers up all year round.
Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. Fill me in
Oh,
because I'm gonna have to do
bro.
something.
Dude, that's a good side hustle, bro.
Yeah.
Because hey, you're talking about side hustles, man. I'm Italian, so
Yeah.
check this out.
So,
You
yeah,
set up
lay
your
it on me.
company for outdoor lighting only, right? And they got a Wi-Fi app. You could do multi stuff. Like, dude, check that out real quick. Do Govee, Govee, outdoor lighting.
All right, you keep talking. I'll
They
do
use
the
these
digging.
little. It's kind of like the size of my webcam. It's like a little hockey puck, like about that big, right? And it's every 16 inches. It's just strip light, right? And you can set it up. You hit the button, and bam, it goes Halloween, Thanksgiving,
Oh,
Christmas, and then you could leave it during the year and just do like ambient lighting for like a nice warm white or something like that.
and here's the deal, man. It's like I don't think you have to get crazy and be like trying to cut your rate to do something like this. There's people out there who will pay your rate to come hang lights. Like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
because you got to run 110 to the corner soffit, right?
yep.
So if you got some HVAC companies have electrical license, right? So
Yeah.
bam, run yourself, your spot, and just charge hourly what he can running across the front of the house. It's cool, man. I would say a lot of electrical companies, residential, do stuff like that.
Yeah.
This outdoor lighting's cool.
So,
$200 for 50 foot.
Let's have a I'm gonna steer this conversation a little bit, man. I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on if you're working for somebody and let's say you're doing a side hustle that's part of the company's business model? Do you feel like that's degrading, or like as a mechanic in HVAC, or would you be excited and be like, you know what, I'm down with doing something different?
Oh,
That's a really interesting question.
When I was with my buddy's company, before I was doing building science, I was doing a little handyman work.
Yeah.
So I did kind of feel like I was stepping on his toes a little bit, but he doesn't do any handyman work,
My thing is, here's where I want to go with this comment. If you feel like it's beneath you to do some stuff like that, then I would say, in my opinion, you'd want to find yourself at maybe a commercial company and be prepared to work for a company and not start your own company for a very long time, if ever.
Yeah.
Because when you go in business, and especially like year one, it's going to be a rocky road, and you got to have that hustle mentality. Right?
You got it, man. You
got to be creative.
Yeah, especially down here in Florida, man. Like winter, like if it's, it doesn't get that cold, so people are like, put the toaster on, and I'll see you when you guys get here for the heat. They don't care.
All right,
What's
man.
up?
We got an attendee.
Can you hear the drums?
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If it's annoying, I'll get out of here. It's my son playing the other room.
Nah, man, let him rock on. That may be his future side hustle.
Yeah, we'll see.
Dude, so what are you doing with the house?
Dude, that's grapevine music right there.
Yeah.
I might have to recruit him for my next intro video.
How loud is it?
Can we get him? Can we get him live?
Is it
Yeah.
super loud?
No, it's cool, man. Let him play.
Yeah.
Let the kid have his fun.
Yeah.
No, so I don't know. I started trying to air seal my attic. I removed the insulation in the beginning of the summer. I started trying to air seal everything, right? And my plan was to blow back in cellulose in the attic. That was like my game plan.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll do this. I need to gut the kitchen because I'm got to install a new kitchen, and I'll put everything back together before it starts getting cold, and blow in cellulose. I'll be good. I got my blower door number. I started off around 3,000 CFM 50.
Right.
My house is like 1,850 square feet with a basement.
Okay.
So yeah, 3,000 CFM 50, and then I was able to get it down to like 1,900.
Woo, dude,
Big drop.
that is a jump.
Yeah, but I wasn't thrilled.
That's
with it.
before the spray foam job, right?
That was before the
just,
spray foam. Yeah.
That's just
nice.
that's caulking cracks, man, and Kansas foam, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was hard. That was a couple days worth of work. Me like searching everything out, blower door running, smoke blowing around, all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a
Now-
lot of vape pen going around, man. It's
Now-
crazy.
Being you're living in the house, Adam, like, because I'm curious and I want to like have people hear this story. Like, could you noticeably like feel a difference in your house once you got that 1,000 knocked out?
No. But
No.
it was like the end of the summer.
Oh, so you were in like this lull season of weather.
Right. And keep in mind, like the entire summer, I didn't. So I have a 3-ton Daikin, but I changed the capacity on it. I dropped it down to a 2-ton.
Oh, nice.
And it was
awesome.
like pretty good most of the time. When it was like above design, maybe it would struggle a little bit. But I didn't have any insulation in my attic all summer. So I didn't really get to experience anything. But the thing is, like, we hit like a couple days of really cold weather where it was like it dropped into low 30s at night. And I woke up in the morning, I look at the thermostat, and it's like 60 degrees in the house. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I didn't even finish doing anything with the kitchen yet. How am I going to insulate the house,
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah.
So I just started exploring options. I decided to bite the bullet. And I was going to do open cell, but then I'm like, I know if I do open cell, I'm going to be pissed off.
Right.
I'm going to hate myself
Yep.
on the road. I got to go close cell,
Yep. So we got a question, man. Are you watching CO levels?
I mean, CO levels. No, I don't have my. I mean,
Dioxide
somewhere in the house,
or-
my little personal monitor I have. It's not beeping, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
My carbon dioxide goes through the roof, dude.
I'm not like watching it, but carbon dioxide. See, I think there's something going on with I have the Air Things monitor.
Yeah.
And like it never dropped below 400, never. And like we were just gone.
No, 400 is what fresh air is outside.
Oh, that's what it is.
Dude, you're freaking killing it then.
Oh,
if
okay.
It's at 400.
I'm not I'm not in the know. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I'm like, dude, I can't get it below 400. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. This is bullshit. This freaking meat is broken.
Damn it. Where's my
bro.
pure oxygen? I air sealed for pure oxygen. Damn it.
But yeah, no, it's like hovering at 440 or whatever. That's
Yep.
It climbs usually like depending on because the monitor is in the living room, so it's like between 400 to 600 most of the time. I've been kind of watching it the last because we've just got back today after the foam.
You got like an ERV ventilating dehu?
Yeah, I got an ERV. I have it cranked out on max 100 CFM right now.
Bro, yeah, that's it, dude. I don't have anything still, right? So I'll get up to 1600 on the CO2.
Yeah, somebody was talking about carbon dioxide in I don't know some Facebook chat or whatever else. And they're like, mine's pretty high. It's like 900 or whatever else.
No,
and I posted mine. Mine was like 1250, and they're like, dude, open a window in your house. What's wrong with you? But that was prior to installing the ERV.
Yeah, dude, it's nice, man. That's really good.
I went all out with the ERV. It's dedicated duct system. I have it running 24/7, fresh air to all the bedrooms, and then exhaust in all the bathrooms. So
just like Reisinger. Nice.
Yeah,
So
deleted the bath fans.
I was gonna say you deleted the bath fans and pulled from the bath fans themselves.
Yeah,
That's
I
nice.
like that strategy. I really do.
Yeah, that's super awesome. That's kind of expensive though. I mean, let's talk about that. Are people you think you could talk a client into buying that?
I think if you're doing a major remodel or you're building from the ground up, absolutely. And
Mhm.
the reason why I say that is because with current code, you have to provide ventilation, some sort of ventilation strategy,
Yep.
correct? So if you think about that, if you're just tying in a duct to your return, you're cutting a hole, you're running the duct right there. So there's labor involved with that. You might have a damper on that costs a little bit more money. And then depending on how many bathrooms that you have in your house, if you're going with anything nicer than the crappy little Home Depot special bath fans, like if you're doing the Panasonic, the quiet one,
you're spending $320 or something like that
each, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you figure a nice ERV is running you about what, $950, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good take on it. I like that, man. So
What'd you
remodels, I might
for-
suggest that to my builder friends.
What'd you do for filtration on the ERV?
So right now I'm using
filters.
I up the they have an upgraded filter that you could buy. So I have their MERV 13 that just slides into the unit.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and experiment, and I don't know what's going to happen with it though. I need to frame a wall in the basement first, so I have a place to mount it. But I have a Clean Comfort, which is Daikin and Amana's IAQ brand.
Yep.
I have a bypass HEPA filter, and I'm going to attempt to filter all the incoming air with the HEPA filter. It has a separate fan though, so I'm not 100% sure how the two fans are going to interact with each other.
Okay, gotcha. That's cool.
What you mean? You mean like is the fan
I'm not
going to be blowing in the
bypassing.
direction of the ERV fan?
Well, I'm not planning on bypassing the air through the HEPA. I was going to try to bring 100%
directly.
Yeah,
like an inline filter, Chris.
Like an inline filter with a fan for the intake of the ERV.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're worried that fan's going to overpower the ERV fan?
Well, no, because they have a rheostat on the fan, but I'm just not sure because I know the Panasonic fan, it's rated at a half inch of total static pressure. So I have a full duct system on that, and that works out fine. But there's no ratings on the HEPA filter, so I don't know how powerful that fan is. You know,
right.
I don't know if it can actually.
You know what I did for fresh air for this lady's house? For Daikin, do you guys have like the filters that go underneath the air handler, like the 5-inch? Right. So I took Train's 5-inch, and I did the smallest one they have, like a 20 by 20, and just boxed it in the attic, and just put a little bit of ductboard on each side and tapped it with a flex. And what we go? You can go MERV 13, I think, and Train. I went with a MERV 11, just to trap that. In Florida, we get that orange pollen, the freaking oranges,
Yeah.
And our cars will get covered with pollen. So, you can go to MERV 13, but I know John Ellis would say 16 is good to go. Just in case John's watching, I'll cover my P's and Q's. But I mean, cool. HEPA's, you can't get better than HEPA. But I don't want to steer you away from it. But
I kind of want to dabble with the balancing of that fan, man. You got me curious. But
that's the cheap man way to go. You know what I mean?
That's one of the reasons why I want to do is just see what's going to happen with it. I mean, if it doesn't work, I'll put a big media filter in line. You know what I mean? There's going to be no pressure drop on that.
I think it should work. You could probably just you could just power up the fan just enough to pull the static away from the HEPA filter alone and say, my HEPA filter is this much pressure drop. I'm going to let this run this fan enough to remove that pressure drop from the overall system and stop right there. Right. That way there's no additional power being pushed on the ERV fan.
The problem is I'm not worried about the ERV fan. I'm worried about there's quite a long duct run before the HEPA filter, like from the side of the house to the HEPA filter. So I wasn't comfortable. We have basements in the Midwest. I know you guys never heard of them where you're at, but
just when I was 10, I remember them when I was 10.
There's like another part of the house like below the ground. So
anyway, like dwarves.
I seen that one time in a movie with that little girl who had red heels and she hit them 3 times. There's a tornado coming.
You shall not pass. Is it dogs down there?
But Yeah, like the kind of the industry standard in the Midwest is if you hook up an ERV or fresh air, you just go through the very bottom portion of the house, out the tallest portion of the basement, and that's your fresh air right there. But the problem is it's not that far off the ground. So when you're cutting the grass, it's windy outside, there's leaves, there's mice,
Oh,
this and
right.
that, you have dirty air coming in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true, man. Never
So
thought about that. That is cool.
You drilling it like a below the rim joist, through the rim joist,
Through
like
the
where do
rim
people?
joist usually.
But wouldn't the rim joist be like the support? Can you drill that big of a hole through a rim joist and be? Is that okay?
If you think
Coming
about
from
it,
someone who doesn't do a
yeah,
lot of rim
no,
joist drilling,
it's not a problem. If you think about it, the rim joist is not really holding much. It's all the joists themselves that all the
Mm.
weight is sitting on.
So what about snow? And there goes your fresh air
That's
intake,
it.
right?
That's another thing
Blocked
too.
right out. Yeah, snow.
Yeah.
So what I did
Huh.
was I ran the duct basically away from the mechanical room up the center of the house with oval pipe,
Damn,
through a
look at
stud
you
wall,
go.
and then into the attic, and then out of the sidewall, like I think it's about 12 feet up in the air now.
Yeah. Clean air,
Or-
man.
or
Clean air. That's where the
You
400
can get the GE
is.
all in one and just clean out the dry event stack really good.
Yeah.
But you guys are up north, so it probably shoots right out the side of the house.
Do
from
you
the
guys
basement.
think we're ever going to reach a situation where we recirculate air to clean it and put it back in the house?
No.
Yeah,
You don't
You
think so?
like you live on
I
a
don't know.
spaceship.
That's why I'm asking. Like, I'm just
Elon
wondering if
says
we're
we're
going
going
to
to
get there.
Mars, baby. So I'm gonna have a bunch of like IVs and stuff in a room, like cleaning and scrubbing
know.
out my hair.
I still feel stupid that I'm like, man, my carbon dioxide's only at 400. What the hell's going on?
Dude, that was awesome. Dude, you made my week.
So,
That was
Adam,
awesome, bro.
let's pick your brain while you're here, man. If someone's getting into the slow season, what's the side hustle, man? Here's what I think. Here's a side hustle I think.
For him, he's doing
and this
low
is something
cows.
you could you're this is where I'm talking to you. Talking about designing for others.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I think there's a
that's,
huge market to be had. Like if you
I-
really want to make some pretty good money and not have to bust your knuckles,
Specialty
if
design.
you can bring your design game up to a point where you can sell it, I think that's a huge offering.
well,
Yeah, you did duct design for Chris's job, right?
yeah, his was pretty easy. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I was kind of watching everything play out in the comments and all these couch warriors and that.
Oh, dude, that's my
You
favorite.
live in California. Why would you have a 4-ton? You're gonna put in a 2-ton? Are you stupid? Blah blah blah. Giving him a hard time,
Yeah, man.
But
You'll win them over, man.
No,
You'll win them over.
I'm loving
all in
that
due time.
project, man. That project is awesome.
it's turning out great and it's working awesome. So he's happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Dude, I
Yeah.
can't believe he redid the sheetrock inside the closet, like last minute. Had the wife in there. Dude, it's awesome. It's freaking awesome.
I haven't watched the last piece. I need to watch the last video he made.
Unreal.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler. He attempted air balancing it today.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
I think
Does
he's
he-
probably gonna make a video on that.
They have
Did
the
he
AC
stay
flow
with
hood?
Central? Did he stay with Central Main Return?
Yeah. So there was one return grill on a box in that closet, and I made him add a second one. But he's gonna do transfer grills. So
Okay,
and
I
right
was-
now we are on all the bedrooms, even without any transfer grills installed with just the door undercuts, we're still under 3 pascals in the
Oh
bedroom.
wow.
So
Dang.
except the master. The master
Except the master.
exterior,
Who am I
it's
talking
always
to
the
over here?
master.
Steve Rogers?
Always the master.
it's vaulted
Unbelievable.
ceilings and there's a lot of airflow in the master. So I think he's at like 10, 11, something like that pascals. So we need to do some work in that room.
Wow.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm working on something for that. And I don't know if he's listening. If he's here, he probably not. But I'll send it to him and I'll send it to you. But keep it on low key. I'm working on something.
Nice.
Dude, that CPS balancing thingamajigger you sent is unreal, dude. Like, I didn't know. Like, I watched the video on it. Like, adjusts. So you're talking about
he's talking about the damper. You talking about the damper? The
Oh, yeah.
auto balancing damper?
auto balancing. I was like, what? I still don't know how it works.
I have not. I bought. There's 2 brands that I found, and
Mhm.
I bought both of them. I need to test them. I was gonna make a video on it.
Okay.
But dude, we did this big passive house, and I was working till 1:30 in the morning balancing it the one night
Mhm.
to try to get done. Because they had they're on the it's a double studded house, and they have closed cell foam on the exterior, and then the interior it's like the blown in cellulose with all glue and everything, you know.
Really?
So
Holy
they're gonna
smokes.
bury all of our dampers the next day. So I had to get
What?
done balancing this monster freaking
Mm.
house. I'm working till 1:30 in the morning, and then I found these things just recently. I'm like, that's a no brainer. 100%
Yeah,
I would have bought
right
them.
near the grill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why not? Why aren't we putting our dampeners at the freaking grills? Why are
Well,
we always designing them in
Hey,
the freaking attic?
have you ever seen this before? I
I'll
went
get off my soapbox.
there's a guy who bought a tool from us and he lives close to me. He's in Baton Rouge and crazy, crazy house, dude. It's actually on Matt Reisinger's channel. Matt Reisinger did a video on it. And he was having issues. Like he couldn't get his air conditioning company for the project to come out and commission his job. So this dude literally bought all his own tools and says, F it, I'm gonna commission my own jobs. And he
Dude,
literally
that's
was like, I'm
awesome.
not going to pay them their last percentage and I'm just going to do the commissioning myself. And I was like, dude, I'm coming to see this job. And so I literally drove over there. You know, he ordered the equipment and I showed him how to run everything and helped him commission. And
Dude, how did I miss this video? This is on
it's
Reisinger's.
on Reisinger's
you-
video. Yeah.
nice.
And supposedly he's supposed to go back and do a follow-up video with him on a finished product. Dude,
Okay.
I've never seen a house built this nice. Like we're talking nicest of the
That's
nicest. Crazy, crazy features in this house. But a lot of his dampers that are ran between floors, like his ducts that are ran between floors, he has inline dampers. And there's like 2 pieces in the damper, right? With a tiny little motor that can rotate like this to close it off. And there's 2 wires that come to it that he ran into a closet where there's just a strip panel with a remote. And so he takes his remote and he's got 2 wires and he plugs it in. And that's like number 1, damper number 2, damper number 3. And then his remote can change the positioning of the damper.
Dude, that's
like, bro, that's
crazy.
freaking crazy. Like to go to that extreme.
So he's got like a zoning dampener.
It's manual operated balancing from the remote from the switch panel that's mounted in the closet to now it's a permanent adjustment basically once you tweak them you're done, right? But
Okay.
he wanted to be able he's like I wanted to be able to balance them when the project's finished. I'm just like, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Damn.
Like, that's next level.
That is
But
next level,
but
dude. I don't
this
even know if
job
I
was-
would do that.
This job was over the top next level, man. Like
If
I'd
you
never
find
seen a
that
house like
YouTube
this.
link, kick it into the
Yeah,
grapevine, man.
I'll have to go digging for it.
So with Chris's job, he was asking me like, what's the best way? And I honestly, I kind of told him this because I don't do a lot of attic jobs. And if we were talking about getting a nice tight duct system, he's like, what do I do to keep the holes and everything tight and not have a lot of duct leakage around the dampers? I'm like, dude. I was thinking about it, and what we ended up doing is I built him extensions for all the boots, and I said, you're not going to put in any dampers in the attic. And he went with the nice commercial grills with the opposed blade dampers, and it's just a screwdriver. I'm
nice.
like, you're going to do it all from inside your house. That way you
Dude,
don't have to crawl
that's
on
what
your
I'm
ass.
talking about. Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome. Like, why not? I mean, it should be accessible.
The
man.
only thing is, if depending on, I think probably more so the velocity than the airflow, I think you can get a little noise, depending on how much you're
Right.
turning down the damper in that.
So if you really cinch it down like a 10
Yeah,
CFM,
but man, you're talking 2 tons worth of air. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Versus 4 tons worth of air, which is where he was. Did he run all new ductwork or
All
did he
new
reuse
ductwork.
all new
Okay.
duck, man. And think about it. We're always used to seeing equipment that's oversized and undersized ductwork. So
Yeah.
who knows? I can't wait for that video.
So going back, man, design work.
Yeah.
Now, something that should be said though, if you're going to do that, there is such a thing as like error and omissions insurance for that. So like, I've never had it, but I haven't done a lot. I've done a design or 2 for other people, not a ton. I guess I've let my risk versus reward not get way above me. I always made sure like my reward was way above my risk factor with the people I was entertaining with that work. So, but if you're going to do it, you're thinking going large scale, I would recommend, getting the aero and emissions insurance.
That's a
Are
good point.
you doing a lot?
Yeah.
Is it not being a side hustle? Are you doing like full-time design work, bro?
Who, me?
No, I know you're getting
Oh.
out of the game with that.
No, I mean, I would like to do design work, but I'll be honest with you, like a lot of the guys around us, like they'll charge, $300 for a load and a duct,
Yeah.
Dude,
duct
it's the
design. And it's
same
like,
thing here, man.
the thing is, like, it's like, okay, we'll go with them, whatever. But like, if you're gonna do it right, and like you could talk to Chris about this, like I look at it like a full service design. I'm gonna hold your hand through the whole thing. I was talking him through the air balancing, the commissioning. Hey, I'm not
Right.
able to get the airflow at this point, and it's a little bit under on this. What should I do here? Well, this flex run is a little bit longer here or there. I like my point is I'd rather it be perfect. Why is my camera suddenly blurry? But so like, hey, ask me questions and I'll tweak it as we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm gonna do design work, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, I feel like I'm vested into it. It's like I want to put my initials on the ductwork up in the attic. I want
Yeah.
everything to come out good.
That was a big fear I had about, I've had quite a few phone calls of like, hey man, you want to design this job? And I'm like, not really, man. Just because like, once you design it, and anybody who's designed knows this, like you're putting your thoughts into that job, right? There's like a landscape of rules that you have to play by,
Yeah.
but they can be played a little bit differently depending on who that person is. Like if I design a duct routed system and a layout, it may be different than what Adam's going to lay out. Like we may
Right.
come up with two totally different designs that play in the same rule book, but it could be radically different.
That is
And-
pretty amazing, man. Like every designer, like all three of us, we could do
Yep.
quick model and just have a completely different design.
We
Three
could.
ways.
And
the funny
that's a pretty
thing
cool
is, you could have
topic.
3 different installers going at it, companies installing the equipment, and you could have 3 completely different outcomes.
yeah,
Oh man,
You could-
tell me
yeah.
about it.
for sure. You could definitely-
I proposed this to a guy who was doing a major remodel on a beachside, and I was like, "Listen, I know the AC company. I got the ductwork guy's number. I'm gonna follow up with him. I'll design it." And I guess that was too much money.
I did a last weekend. I think I was telling you about this a little bit, Chris. There's a guy. I'm part of this Facebook group. It's called like HVAC questions and answers or something like that, and it's
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
homeowners in this group
Hmm.
asking questions. Well, this guy, right off the bat, I'm like, oh, because some technicians go in there and they'll be like take it as the wrong group.
Bro,
And
they're
turn it-
rough in there. To this one lady, Eric
Yeah.
sent me out to, bro. Yeah, they were rough on her.
Really?
Yeah, man. They were telling her like, you wearing a tinfoil hat type stuff. She was the one. Did you see that one? She was the
No.
lady in there with the EF meter, with the ghost meter.
Really? I actually talked to Eric about a job that I was on where a lady was doing that, and she was all freaked out.
I went out to that job, dude.
Did you figure anything out?
I could not find a loose ground. I even went as so far, bro, because I wanted to find something, man. I went on the roof and I even grabbed channel locks on a neutral wire and shook the neutral wire. Because yeah,
I solved mine. Just
did you?
out of pure
You had a high
desperation.
EMF?
Yeah, so I didn't have any meters or anything. All I know is she said I was fine with my old furnace, and this new furnace, whenever the blower motor runs, because I would just turn the fan on, and whenever the blower motor runs, I'm feeling this, and it's like hurting, and it's driving me crazy, and I feel like I'm insane. Blah blah blah.
What? Dude,
Oh,
I
really?
didn't hear
Who-
about
who
this.
you
This
got?
is
Yeah.
freaking wild.
I didn't hear
Hold on.
about
Like
this
this
either,
is a
man.
year and a half ago or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
A while ago,
Dude,
So,
all right. Take me down this rabbit hole, man. I want to
That's
hear
what
this.
that's what she was saying. She felt like she was underwater a little bit.
yeah, her ears
And-
she kept saying pressure. There's a lot of pressure in my head
Pressure.
when this
And
thing
then
runs.
she said she feels like the electric would come up from the ground. And check this out. Her line set was underneath there. and she had multiple wires running underneath the slab. So, but let me hear about yours with the blower motor.
So what I ended up doing was I'm trying to remember I'm not going to remember the brand right now, but I found this, basically it's this little circuit board that you plug into your, the circuit board on a furnace when you have a variable speed furnace,
Yeah.
the 5 or 6 pin connector or whatnot.
Yeah, some of
And
them are 16 pin.
and then basically what you're doing is decoding the speed,
Mhm.
and then you could use a PSC motor and plug it into this board, right? And it's not variable anymore, but it's basically, hey, you could use this, and it's just like a whatever.
It's like a 2-speed now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You took that motor out and put a PSC motor in. Is that what I'm
Absolutely.
hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but if so, what I did first was I brought out just like a
So
a
you're
rescue
saying
PSC motor.
so you're
And-
saying at a specific frequency,
Yes.
this lady was getting a radical noise. So
Right.
now you're speaking on something I've dealt with before. I've seen weird situations happen when motors hit specific frequencies, and this has been in like a commercial building where I've
Right.
seen like very large motors as they ramp up. And let's say I go in the VFD and I program it for a 45-second startup, right? Like where it takes its time. It'll get to a certain frequency, and this motor would just go, brrrr, you're like, what the hell
Really?
is that about? Yeah. And
No
it's like,
way.
and then you can go in the VFD and tell it to skip that frequency. It'll just
Wow.
hop right over it as it ramps up, which is weird, but I
See,
don't know
but
what it is,
I
man.
didn't
It's like
hear anything.
everything.
I didn't feel anything. This is like the lady. She's like, "Don't you feel that? Don't you feel the pressure right now?" I'm like, "No, it's all normal to me,"
You go in there with a dog whistle, man.
But like, so what I did first was I'm like, "Listen, I have this on my truck. I'm gonna try this, but like, you're gonna pay me for my time." So I pulled
Yeah.
the blower motor out and I just wired the PSC hot. And I'm like, "Do you hear it? Do you feel it?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So I took the blower motor. This is just a rescue motor off my truck. I wired it hot in the furnace overnight, and I'm like, "Tell me what you think about it." I talked to her a day or two later, and she's like, "Yeah, this seems better." And I found this board in the meantime. Like, all right, we can make like more of a
Nice.
permanent fix for this.
Yeah.
And she was
That's
she was
crazy,
good.
man.
Hey,
That's
if it works, it
absolutely
works.
radical.
Dude, she had all the light bulbs out, like all the fluorescents are out, and I'm looking up.
Have
And
y'all
they're
ever seen Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
That's what they said in the comments. To this
That's
poor
all I
lady.
can think about, man.
That's what they said to her. Now
She lay on the couch with like that silver blanket.
Yes. No.
I hate to laugh, man, because
but-
it's like if somebody's seriously got this, but
Her
it's like in my
electrical
mind,
panel?
I'm like, do people really have this problem?
Yeah. I mean, she did at this
Crazy.
house, right? She had the electrical panel in her master bedroom, was on the other side of the wall, right? So she had this big picture, right? It was like, I don't know, like 24-inch by 36. And I take it off the wall, right? And it's all silver. She put that silver Better Call Saul stuff on there to reflect the EMF. So, dude, when I had the Scooby-Doo meter over by the picture frame, it like reflect the EMF. I don't know.
So you
Wow.
were actually measuring EMF.
I used her meter. I actually
she had a meter.
She had the meter. I downloaded the PDF for the meter because it was in what's the group again? HVAC answers and questions.
Mm-hmm.
It was in there,
Mhm.
and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll go to the website, download, and I learned how the meter worked. Read the fantastic manual, and I'm going by the condenser with it. Man, the condenser is like going crazy.
So there's
it-
your next side hustle, man. If you,
There you go.
if you need something to do in the winter, just put it out there, man, that you'll check for EF,
EMF, man.
EMF.
And then I put it next to my phone. It was going off crazy. But it's she did call me back 2 days later. She's like, "Did you do anything?" I was like, "No, I didn't." She paid me for my time.
Have either of you guys ever read into like the whole 5G thing with phones and all that stuff?
I
People
just
were kind
read,
of on
like,
this
I read
topic.
comments where people were like, "We're all gonna die. It's
Yeah.
cancer. We're all dead." Like, it's
Just
gonna
whatever Alex Jones tells me.
So I read into it a little bit, and because like I fly a lot, and I'm thinking, why do I have to turn my phone off? Like, what's the point of that?
That
You know,
bugged
like
the
is the
shit out
plane
of
going
me.
to go down? So it turns out the reason you're turning your phone off isn't so much for the plane you're in, but it's for the tower, right? Because you have a tower that's like basically distributing signal, and
Mhm.
the air traffic control tower is probably using that tower as well. You know what I'm saying? And so like there could be interference if there's too much traffic at one time. So
Okay,
like for
cool.
the tower to do its job, and I don't know if you've ever been in a busy air traffic control chain tower, but it can get pretty busy up there, man. Not like my local airport in Baton Rouge. It's like those guys are typically hanging out, you know, what I'm saying not too
So
busy.
they don't
But you
want
go to like,
everybody taking a signal. They just want the
well, I
pilots
think it's I
cockpit.
think it's muddying the waters of the signals, right?
Right.
They've got information coming back and forth like this from all these planes. And if you've got a high frequency 5G signal and you're on your phone and there's a lot of that around the airport at one time, right? And so there's a chance, which I kind of get that, but then I'm thinking, what about the thousands of people that sit in the airport building waiting on their flight? We're
Right?
not telling those people to turn their phones off. Like,
Yeah.
so is it really the couple hundred in the plane? Is that big of a deal when there's thousands in the
Dude, they used to
building?
tell us to turn the phones off in the 90s. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy. All I could tell you is 5G. What I heard is it's a shorter wavelength, right? So like AM, FM, big.
Oh, I don't know. That I don't
That's
know.
what I heard. I did a
Well, I know
little bit of research.
there's
So
gigahertz. There's like your Wi-Fi router that does like 2.5
it's
and
kind of like a
5,
Wi-Fi
but
router.
that's but
It's a
yeah, like
shorter, narrower like wavelength. That's
you
why
may
you
be
need
right. I
more
don't know.
5Gs.
And
But
it doesn't travel as far. That's why they need
right,
them every couple blocks. There's like a store,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why they're all over every street in New York because it's a short wavelength, kind of like a Wi-Fi.
yeah, more powerful but
Um,
shorter. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yep.
I know like the Govee meters and stuff, I think you have to hook them up on a 2.5. Rather you can't hook, I don't think they work on the 5. Thought I remember that setting them up.
I tell you,
Anyway,
dude, I worked at a radio tower one time. They told me to go to a radio tower. I was doing just HVAC, and dude, I was in that mechanical room. It felt like I was at the bottom of the pool. I don't know what the hell that was about.
you know what I always wanted to do?
The Better Call Saul moment. I don't know.
I always wanted to go walk in like where the big fields where all the electricity's running and just like there's all this power going on. I always wanted to walk in there with a light bulb in my hand just to see if it would glow. You know what I'm talking about?
You
I've
got to
heard that
use a
that's a real thing.
fluorescent. It's got to be a fluorescent
Dude,
because it excites the plasma in there.
I knew a guy who worked for the utility company, old man, like this dude was really old when I met him. He was super cool. He told me, he's like, that is legit. He's like, that will happen. And I
It'll
was like,
do it.
really? He was like, I've done it. He goes, it works.
It's
I'm like,
cool
come
shit,
on,
man.
man. So
What about the guys that go on helicopters and they latch the helicopter onto the transmission
yeah,
wire, bro? Want to go down a rabbit hole for a minute on YouTube?
I
Look
watched
that
that.
up,
It's
bro.
wild.
Those guys
So,
get paid money.
so
That's a side hustle.
that takes me to my last side hustle topic for the night. So, speaking of utilities, did you know that you can, if the budget's there, a utility company will actually pay you to go recapture CFM loss from HVAC systems?
Get the hell out of here.
Yep. So
How was
like,
that?
so basically, well, I know it's done here, and I'll tell you what I know about it. So there's like this, there's this basically program where the utility company puts money aside to like better for the betterment of the grid, right? So that money's being set aside. And as that pile of money grows, they have people that help distribute that money professionally in the right way to do the betterment for the grid. It's the give back program thing going on, right? So it's your money that you've paid into the utility, and you have this chance to basically go get some of that money, do the work for the program, and earn money. And what they're looking for is, making the grid go down. So there's
See,
programs like that. So one of the things is that's big is CFM. They understand that duct loss,
Wow.
like duct leakage outside the envelope is huge. So they literally have like a fixed amount of money per CFM. Now here's the crazy part. you test in and you test out. So you're your
Oh, wait a
testing
minute.
operation. Now you have to get certified. Like
Isn't that
there's
what
paperwork
Boussard's
you
doing?
have. I think so. I think he's doing
Yeah,
some of that.
Michael Boussard and
Yep.
his wife, right?
Yep, I think they do some of that. But
See, I
there's,
kind of
there's programs out there.
That's like a. I don't know if I agree with that program. Like, I'm not saying like
energy.
agree with it. I know you're not saying agree with it or not. You're just saying
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
there
saying
for
it
a side
exists.
hustle. But like, if you think about it, a lot of these systems are super high static, right? And then all of a sudden you start closing up all the duct leaks in the system, and then it's like, hey man,
Bro,
that
happened to me one time. I was like, I started sealing stuff up. I was like, whoa, that the DG8 was going like.
Hear me out though.
It was going so high. It said call Steve Rogers.
What's worse?
Crazy. It was like 1.5 inch total static.
Yeah, but man, what's worse? To let something run on extremely leaky or increase the duct static and then fix the original problem?
Good question.
Because I mean, duct leakage outside is gonna destroy more than a blower motor.
Yeah, but that's a weird conversation to have, because it's like, hey, guess what? Your utility company's gonna pay me to seal your ductwork, and then you seal like, I just got paid, but by the way, you need a new system because it's all oversized.
and then your blower broke.
And I just blew your blower motor within the first 10 minutes of it running.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah,
like, I want.
Only there was a tool that could tell you that.
I'm gonna be thinking about that question. What do I
hear
want?
What you're
Leakage
saying.
or a dead blower?
It's good food for thought, man. But just throwing it out there, bro. There's programs out there.
That is.
But if you're interested, I'm just saying, how do you figure out about that? You'd have to call like your utility.
Yeah, not everybody's busy like you Northerners, in the winter.
Yeah.
We got to look for things to do. Like washing cars over here.
You could do a car wash. There you go, man. And
in
Florida, you can wash cars probably year round.
Oh yeah, that's a main hustle. We'll look at side hustles.
That tap water is like 79 degrees year round.
Oh,
it's always warm.
It's ridiculous. I got to get a chiller from my cold water.
Yeah. Oh. All right, dude. Sweet.
Dude, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
thanks
man.
for having me.
Thanks for being our third wheel tonight.
Kelly Kapowski didn't make it tonight.
Skip Skapansky?
Dustin Cole.
Oh
yeah.
He said he was going to jump in, but I think he was hunting last night. So
yeah,
he's
hopefully
busy.
He's got a bunch of deer meat. Hopefully he brings me some, man. If this show gets to him, I'm expecting some deer jerky in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he did well.
All right. Until next week. See you guys.
Later, boys.